Welcome to the Melbourne to Osaka yacht race, and I'm just going to take this opportunity here to show you how to use the tracker. There will be another video if you can't open the tracker, but this is a video to show you how to use the tracker and its features. So if we go to the main Melbourne Osaka site, we can see on the front page that opens down the bottom here we have this click on button which is called tracker, which we'll just push now. So when we push the tracker button, it opens up the tracker page and it'll zoom into the best picture, or the best picture it can give you of the boats currently competing. If we look around the tracker as we see it here, we can see up here we can choose to show which line honours, or we can the performance handicap, the RRC, the AMS. The other things that are obvious on the front screen is that we can obviously zoom in with this button and zoom out with that button, and then this button here gives us the leaderboard. If we push the leaderboard, we can see up the top here we can again select what we want to see, but if we leave it in the line honours, that we can see that the three boats lead at the moment is we can see Morningstar, The Edge, and then Bartolome, and here their distances to go, and this is their estimation of times. You'll see here for the boats that started yesterday that the time that they're going to get for an ETA is obviously wrong, but that's the reason for it is with the way the tracker calculates it needs a few days more tracking to get a better average speed, and then this time will come down like the same one on Morningstar. So there you have the leaderboard, and if you want to see anything about the boats, we push the boats tab and we scroll down here and we can see a description of the boat, what it is, and we can see the crew. If we want to click on the crew, we can see a bigger picture, we can see Grant there, and down the bottom is a little bit of writing about what he is doing and what he is, and you can see his particular bits and pieces. The other thing that we can do is that on this particular page is if they have a Facebook page, we can connect on their Facebook, and we might be, if we want to, we can type a thing directly into their Facebook page. If we go back to the Blue Water Tracks, so we've done the leaderboard and we've looked at the boats. And then if we go back to the tracker system, the most useful thing that you can see is if we look at the main screen, we can see the route that goes along there, and then we can see the boats. We are able, with this little button over here, is we can take away, show the boats tracks, show the names, the race course, etc. And we can do all the things that this is, and it's fairly self-explanatory, so I'm not going to go into the reasons that you might want to use that. The next thing to look at is that you will see, for example, the Edge has a little dotted line, and that little dotted line is in between positions that it gets from the tracker. It'll do an estimated position based on the last speed and the last direction. So while you see that little blue dot, you'll know that that is just an estimated position, whereas if you see Bartolome is in a full position. The next thing that we can do is if we touch on the boat, or if we hover over the boat, we can see Bartolome there, and if we come along here, we can see a number of things. So in this first screen, it tells us some averages, and why those averages are wrong is you can see in this screen here that the average speed is 1.6 over the journey, and maximum speed, distance traveled, distance to go, and the ETA, of course. In the next little button, this gives us the crew, so we can see the crew here, and if we look down the screw, it'll give us those details we saw on the front page. The next little button that's useful is this one, which is to tell you where the boat's around it. So you can see that the Edge is 25 miles away, and Morningstar is 295 miles away from Bartolome. So quite a good little thing, and basically these arrows here give you an indication which direction the boat is from this boat. The next thing that we can look at here is if we look at this little speed graph, it shows us their speed over the last time, and you can see here that while they're averaging high, they must be running out of wind, so the wind is getting lower. The next little button we can see here is the last position, so it tells us when the last position came in, how long ago it was. It tells us the latitude, the longitude, the speed over the ground, the course over the ground, and it tells us that it came from inReach. The next most useful feature is if you're following a particular boat. If you use the same browser, we can go and change the boat's color. So for example, we could make it pink, we could make the tracker blue, and we could then if we wanted to, that will change our boat, as you can see here, so it's much more distinctive, and so the boat we're following will stay pink. And this will stay pink if you keep using the same browser. So if you're using the same computer all the time, the boat will stay pink. And then the last thing that we can do is, if we want to, is we can add some circles around the boat, so we can measure distance. So we're going to go in here and put 4 or 5 circles, and we're going to make them at 10 miles, and there we can see from boat alarm, so we can just count the circles and we go 10, 20, 25 miles. We can see the distance between. So I hope you enjoy the tracker. Give us any feedback that you have on Facebook, and we'll see you next time with the next inspirational video. Cheers.